Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about why Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, proves that Vivek Ramaswamy should be president, and that um, President Joseph Biden and President Donald Trump should both remove themselves from the election immediately, and why they have no business running for president. All right. So first of all, was Martin Scorsese a world class director? The answer is yes, by every single metric. Okay. I just need one movie to prove to you. So you have a movie that you've seen that Martin Scorsese directed that you like, and I have one. Mine is not yours, right? Mine is The Color of Money. Color of Money is a fantastic, unbelievably it shows incredible talent, right? And Martin Scorsese at one point was one of the best directors in the world. And he is a world class director by every metric, right? He was a world class director by every single metric. Mine is the Color of Money. It's a movie about pool. It's got Paul Newman, and it's got Paul Newman in there and Tom Cruise. It's a fantastic film. I actually really love billiards. I think I would have, I think there's, if the multiverse were real, there's a world where Scott Garibay is a pool hustler. I've always wanted to do that. The only reason why I don't play pool more is an activity that is not easy to do. You have to pay money to do it all the time. It's not available many places. I absolutely love Pool. It's one of my favorite films, and Martin Scorsese did an unbelievable job on that film. It is quality from top to bottom. Okay, Killers of the Flower Moon is an absolute garbage film that fully proves that Vivek Ramaswamy should be president. Let's go on the journey together. I'll take you there. All right. Um, so guess what? Martin Scorsese is 81 years old. He shouldn't be making movies, right? Guess what? President Donald Trump is 80 years old. He shouldn't be running for president. He shouldn't. President Joseph Biden is 80 years old. He shouldn't be president. Okay? This is done. We need to stop having this conversation. We are reaching a point where what we are doing as a people, right, in America is inhumane. It is truly staggeringly inhumane. So basically, the 80-year-old American president is a experiment that would have never been allowed to be run by any scientist. But we as a country ran it, and we found out what happens, right? Uh, David Plott said it. He said, the American people view President Joseph Biden, okay, and my words here now, our 80-year-old president, as doddering, lacking energy, kind of incoherent, and not very visible. And that is a perfect example. That's a perfect description, not of Joe Biden, but any 80-year-old put under incredible strain, right? It's like telling your great grandfather, go out. Here's the thing, we have lots of great politicians in America, and they can go out and do the work. But right, but this would be like on last week when Thanksgiving dinner was there, and you have, your college age son, your college age daughter, and you say, "Great grandpa, you get your butt out back, and you chop the wood." No family would do this, and if any family that ever did this would be considered outrageously inhumane, like to the nth degree of absolute cruelty and barbarism. What we're doing is barbarism, right? And Martin Scorsese proves it, right? So Martin Scorsese was a phenomenal movie director. Now he makes garbage films. Let me walk you there. All right. So first of all, he released Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon is an absolute garbage film that everyone involved in it should be embarrassed by. So let's walk through. Why do I say that? Okay. So first of all, it is 3.5 hours long. That's not a movie. I just watched on Netflix All the Light We Cannot See. It's a limited series, and that's what Killers of the Flower Moon is, right? Martin Scorsese is 81 years old and doesn't even know what a movie length is, right? And you're like, no, Scott, that's a real movie length. Then why do we, as a nation, literally have an entire conversation saying we need intermissions? We got rid of intermissions. They don't exist anymore because movies are not allowed to be 3.5 hours long, right? So you're like, oh, no, no, Scott, that's a valid movie length. Let's get you there. Apple TV paid $200 million. They made 20 million, right? The its opening weekend was $20 million, right in the 20 million range. It did not go to 30, it was in the 20, right? The number at the start of it was 10% of what they paid. Nobody spends 200 million to make 20. It's a garbage film, right? A man who was the one of the best directors in the world made an absolute garbage film. Killers of the Flower Moon is a garbage film, right? It it made 10% on opening weekend of its budget. Like that is astronomically bad. The other thing is this is America, right? We scrape the bottom of $3 billion on movies. If your movie doesn't make $100 million today, that is the absolute minimum to consider a film. You need to really triple your budget to be considered a successful film by anybody who knows anything about movie box offices. So this movie should have made 600 million. It made $67 million. Garbage numbers from a garbage film. And people did not go because they're like, that's not a movie, that's a series. You failed on basic math, right? Like and you also don't understand human beings. Human beings can't go to a movie, get popcorn and soda, and watch your film, right? Like, and you made the film so that really none of it could be skipped because it was about a historical, and so people would go to the movies and say, "Well, I'd like to discuss what happened to these Osage people with you, but I didn't see the whole film, so I need to go see it again," right? It is a garbage film that fails on every single metric. Okay? So basically, now why is it a garbage film? Here's the answer. Martin Scorsese was a brilliant director, a world-class director. He's 81, right? There's a point we pay everybody in America at 67 years old and say, we're going to pay you to stop working, sit on the porch, drink sweet tea. You're done, right? And this is a real conversation, right? Like, and this is the point. If one of the best movie directors in the world at 80 cannot make a piece of art, why on earth do you think President Donald Trump or, right, President Biden are going to be able to be president? And here's the kicker. Here's the full kicker, okay? When you are 80 and you're president, when you're 80 and you're a director, you do one of two things. You listen to nobody or you listen to everybody. And I think both Donald Trump and I think President Biden's already there. He's a sit and sign president. He doesn't make any decisions. He just sits down, grabs a pen, signs his name, right? Sit and sign president. And that's exactly what Donald Trump will be, right? And or he could be like Martin Scorsese. I'm sure somebody was like, Martin, a movie isn't 3.5 hours long. He listened to nobody. So when you're 80, you either listen to everybody or you listen to nobody. And so when we arrive at the point where we realize there cannot be an 80-year-old president, but both parties are saying to America, you have to have an 80-year-old president, then we need to invert it. And what's the inversion of an 80-year-old president? It's a man who is not doddering, not incoherent, not lacking energy, and anything but invisible, right? It's Vivek Ramaswamy. Killers of the Flower Moon is the perfect proof that 80-year-olds need to get out of the business of trying to be U.S. president, and 38-year-olds are exactly who need to be elected. Martin Scorsese's Killer of the Flower Moon, a garbage film with garbage numbers, right? Because 80-year-old people should not be given $200 million, right? He should have been a mentor, but he shouldn't be the director. And this is a failed experiment. And the Democrats during the Great Pandemic were like, we're begging you to pay attention to science. I'm a conservative. If you're a liberal, or even if you're, by the way, I don't think there's really any difference between people who vote for President Biden and President Trump. If you're a Trump or Biden voter, please just look at science. This is a failed experiment. And Killers of the Flower Moon proves Vivek Ramaswamy should be president. Every single word of that. It's my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.